Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think Ultralisks just want a hug. I'm Mrs. Carnum, and you're watching StarCraft Inc. Today, I have a game for you between the Protoss player in the bottom left, Mellenium Todd. So that's what people are telling me that M means is Millennium. That is a clan tag. It's an interesting way of doing things. You can't fit all that in there. There you go. There you go. So Mellenium Todd is the blue Protoss in the bottom left on Xel'Naga Caverns versus Mellenium Stephano. This is a clan match. So clan versus clan. Baby, baby, baby. Pink Zerg in the top right. Custom match, obviously. Now, this is part of Daily Motion, and it's going to be pretty freaking epic. Also, in other exciting news, YouTube just unlocked the ability for me to upload videos over 15 minutes long. So, no matter how long this game is, I will be able to upload it in one part. Oh, I know. I'm as excited as you are. So I'm going to open up this production tab for you guys. Bam, bam. And I'm going to open up that baby there. And let's hope this is a great game. It's got a lot of downloads. I got it off Gosu Gamers like the other games I have. And what is this? This is a 11 pool. That is odd pool timing. Not a 10 pool, not a 14 pool, so 11 pool out of M. Stephano and Millennium. And a little bit of annoying probe here. I like this. He's just going to poke and prod until his shield's gone, and then he's going to continue to do more. So taking an extractor at 14, sorry, and scouting the natural. So a lot of Zerg are having trouble taking their expansions because of Protoss harassment like pylons and cannons that show up back here, and you can't see them until the hatchery has finished and gives you that full range of view. So this is what you need to do. Your first overlord goes to scout your opponent's base, your second overlord right away goes to scout your natural, and make sure that there's nothing pesky here. So good play by M. Stephano. And the biggest thing was he opened Forge, so that's one thing that definitely indicates that there is a problem with not scouting this area. It has to be scouted. So definitely good play by M. Stephano, Mellenium Stephano, and he's getting some early lings. So I think he's really worried that there's going to be cannons somewhere. He knows that he can't really take this expo until he deals with this probe. Probe sees the lings, and he's like, well, not worth it. So we're going to see that expansion go down now for Stephano. No, he's just going to make sure that... I don't know what that's for. There he goes. So I guess the transfer time for that drone was a little early. We are going to see the expansion go down for Mellenium Todd as well with a gateway. Yeah, so this is a good opening because cannons are great for not only defense but detection. So he's got detection already. He's got the forge already, so as soon as he starts producing army, he will be able to get early upgrades for them. Now the problem with this is he's got no defense in his main, and if he wants to put cannons there, it's going to cost him. So these lings could run in. They're not going to do much damage because the probes could just kill them themselves. However, it does present a little bit of a weakness in the build. If the Zerg player wanted to, he could do some form of run by, and it looks like he might try something like that. There's a lot of lings coming out here, but now there's a zealot out from Mellenium Todd. Those lings did not try to engage, but they are going to meet up with this pack of lings, and it looks like he's just going to pull back. So already starting the creep spread. Good play, good timing for that as well. This is an extra queen that will be transferred down here to this hatchery. He's trying to connect the two bases so that defense between the two is easier, and a reasonably well-timed transfer from Mellenium Stephano. Wow, so here come the lings, the run-by that I was talking about, and they are safe here. This is good play by Mellenium Todd. He's going to try to wall off. He's going to... Oh no! There he goes! Oh, he slips through. So that zealot is going to have to try to chase these guys up here, and these lings are going to get some probe kills, but he's going to bunch up on the mineral patch. If you saw that, they cluster up into one patch and they can stack, and that makes for excellent defense against those lings, because it's like, you know, 30 drones attacking one ling. It's going to die pretty damn fast. So that's a good way of dealing with it. Stalker going to come off the line. The problem with doing it that way is that the lings also have more surface on your pack of probes, so they can also kill you faster. So I don't know. It, I guess it deals with the issue faster, but you could lose more probes that way. I don't know. But if the pros are doing it, it must be cool. So these lings are becoming more pesky than Mellenium Todd wanted them to be. The Stalker will be picking those off quite easily, but they are getting some focus-fired kills. Now the Stalker is going to have to remove itself from the safety of the mineral line, and a second Stalker in the mineral line will make any harassment here pretty difficult for Stephano. So good play by both players so far. So yeah, it's once you get your Nexus down and start to get that saturated, this build is pretty solid, because like I said, you have that forge, you can cover yourself with cannons, you've got that detection, you can harass with cannons, you can even block their third and stuff while you're attacking, protect your proxy pawns, and get those upgrades real early. So here we're seeing weapons 1, and we're seeing an in-base hatch for Stephano, a Baneling nest, as well as weapons 1 for the melee Zerg units. And he is going to be taking his gas. A lot of Zerg don't take the gas in their natural for a very long time, but now that we are going to see layer tech, he is going to be going for some extra gas, especially with Banelings. Now, I'm not sure why he's going for Banelings, unless MTOD goes for lots of Sentry, lots of Zealots. Banelings aren't too effective, especially against Stalkers. We are going to see one Robo just for Observers. Excuse me while I yawn. Not that this is a boring game, but I'm just sleepy. I don't get a lot of sleep, and that's not good for me. I need to get more sleep. So, actually I get tons of sleep. I just sleep at the wrong times of the day. I think that comes hand in hand with being a video game nerd, though. Definitely. So, these Lings are going to work down these rocks. Good preemptive thinking. He's getting this expansion without breaking down these rocks. So that's ballsy, if you ask me, because if his opponent comes to attack, he's not in position to defend. However, it does give him the opportunity to trap his opponents, because if you come down here to kill this, you have no way out. You have to come back out the way you came. So it kind of works both ways. Like a bisexual. But coming down here with some more Lings, and we're not seeing anything else too exciting. I do like getting Ventral Sacks, and yeah, the Overlord upgrades are so good. So good. And what's the other one? Oh, he's getting both of them at the same time. I like that. So the pneumatized, yeah. Wow, a lot of Lings for Stephano, and a nice healthy army here for Mellenium Todd. So those Lings aren't really a big deal unless he gets caught up at a position, and because there's cannons here, the Lings will have to focus fire workers if they want to do any damage. But there's 2 cannons here. They can do a lot of damage to a pack of Lings. Lings aren't really the best unit to use for taking out cannons. They do have that weapons 2 on the way. Weapons 2. Wow, so a lot of Zerg players opt to get the armor for their Lings because they want their Lings to survive, so they can do run-bys and get surrounds and really lock down their opponent's units. It's good for when you're using Banelings with your Lings, but if you're not using Banelings, oh, there we go. He just morphed a shit ton of Banelings. He's going to load those up, I think, into his Overlords, which that type of play is really patented by Cy Starcraft, which I said in my last game. Cy Starcraft has really made that a useful build. Look, he's going to load up all this into these Overlords. What is going to go on here? I'm really interested to see what happens here. Ah, so many Banelings into these Overlords. Ah! Oh my god. Oh, this is so funny. Oh, Colossus aren't going to do a thing for you. Todd, you're going to die. Todd. I'll stop making noises. I'm done with that. Yeah, is he gonna? He did break these rocks. There you go. So he does have the gold expo. He's on 4 bases to Todd's 2. He's taking a third, but he won't be able to hold it. This is the mislead right here. He gets the army to chase those Lings. The army is at a position to deal with these Banelings. The Banelings are going to come and rain on the Protoss army. There's nothing. The force fields go down already. There's nothing the Protoss army can do against those Banelings. Raining Banelings on the Protoss army. The Lings are caught behind the force field. They could have come in here and finished off the Protoss army. These would have been free Colossus kills, I think. But he's going to do a run by on the... Oh, it's not going to work, though, because of the cannons. He needs to get such a squeeze in here. He's going to try to... Oh, nice warp in by M-Todd, but it's not enough. Couple Lings get in. There are still no cannons in this base. Cannons are going to be able to clean up the Lings. And a big warp in for M-Todd here. The Colossus is able to clean up most of the Lings. He's saving most of his Harvesters as well. He was going to pull them into his natural, but he decided not to. The Zerg player still though, is way ahead in income. I'm going to take a look at the income tab right now. We are seeing 67 Zerg Harvesters to 49 Protoss. And back to the... let's actually take a look at the units lost. I know you guys are telling me to work on hotkeys. I don't really have a whole lot of time to learn them. I know they're pretty simple. Units lost is L, yeah, whoopee. But I'll get them down eventually. Don't worry, guys. But for now, just take a look at the units lost tab. In terms of resources, we're pretty even, but you saw the income tab for yourself. So the Zerg is replacing his army much more effectively. The only thing I would say, though, is he's not building cost-effective units. Like the Zerg, don't get me wrong, is a cost-effective unit, but not against the army comp that we're seeing from M-Todd. So unless he can do run-bys and get off some really cheesy damage, it's not going to do much. I mean, they're going to trade armies a couple times, but he loses so many Banelings for how many units he kills. You know what I'm saying? So another attempt at a run-by here, but he's going to get caught in the cannons. Look how many Lings he loses and does no damage. So here comes that big Baneling drop again. I want to see force fields just back up and force field. Oh my goodness. So many Banelings from those overlords, and he's going to warp in some more units, and these Lings are going to come through, but cannons here, again, Protoss player just needs to drop some more cannons, getting a surround on that cannon. Baneling's getting into the mineral line, so this is finally an effective attack for M. Stephano, and Colossus are definitely keeping him in this game. Just, you know, sitting back and sniping the extra Lings, and now these overlords are just free kills. Stephano does see that his overlords are dying. He needs to get a pylon back up here for these cannons. He needs to get resaturated on all his bases. Gonna take a look at the income tab again, and we are seeing, wow, he's actually ahead of where he was before. So 53, 54, he was at 49, but he's on 3 bases, not even saturated on all of them, and his opponent is on 4, taking his 5th. One of his bases is a gold, so he's got an in-base hatch. His production is off the hook. He's getting Banelings, he's getting weapons 1 for Aspire, I forgot to mention. And when I say I forgot, I said I had no fucking clue it was there. So we are going to see Lings being transported over here. Oh, they are going into the main. Hoo-hoo! Hee-hee-hoo! Oh, bad news. So lots of Banelings, Corruptors here to clean up those Colossus. He needs to make sure he tech switches out of those. I like how he's only making 3 at a time. He doesn't want any more than 3 at a time, because if too many Corruptors come out to the field, it makes his army useless. So there aren't that many Colossus. The Colossus, there's enough here to clean up the ground army. Good force fields from M-Todd, and Stalkers are going to be doing more damage to the Corruptors than the Corruptors are doing to this army, because there are only 3 Colossus. So like I said, keep your Colossus count low. So there's and Lings get into this base. The Overlords do unload into the main. Nice 2-pronged attack from M. Stephano. And we are seeing more Lings coming down from the east side, but they are going to get denied here. There are no cannons in this base anymore. And the army type that M. Stephano is getting, the heavy Ling count, he needs to be worried about 2 prongs. He needs to be dropping cannons to avoid his mineral line from dying, and that's what he's doing now. So I want to quickly look at the income tab once again, and wow, I don't know where all the Harvesters went for the Zerg player, but it's 59 to 55. It is now an even Harvester match, despite the base count from M. Stephano. So we are seeing M-Todd actually pull his way back into this game. He's getting mined out at this base. He needs to take a 4th base, but he won't be able to push out of his base if he doesn't do some creeper seeds. So that's what we're seeing here. Setting up a pylon. He's going to be probably dropping forward cannons to hold a position up here, pushing the creep back. He needs to push this creep back or he can't take this expo, so now he just has to patiently wait for that to recede. He's going to try to take this gold, and this pylon is going to help him warp in further ahead. He's going to be dropping cannons, hopefully, to hold the line here, and lots of Lings coming in, and his Colossus are going to be able to hold those back along with his Zealot count. I want to see Blink on his Stalkers, because that's the only way Stalkers are really effective against Zerglings. Look at all the Ling and Baneling here. Corruptors to deny Colossus. This push is pretty nice, but his Zealots need to make sure they're in front. His Stalkers are trapping most of the Zealots. If he had Blink here, he could do a lot of damage. Force fields are beautiful. The Colossus goes down. Oh, there's fungal growth. I didn't even see Infestor's fungal growth on the Stalkers. They are losing all their shield to one fungal growth. Lings coming in from the south. Banelings are going to just annihilate all the Zealots. And now that the Stalkers are softened from that fungal growth, they do take a lot of damage. Zealots in the gold line of Stephano, though. He's doing a lot of economic damage, and those Corruptors are useless. They're not doing anything. There was only one Colossus in the army. So that Stalker is in the wrong place. He's going to die. These Lings are going to get a surround. These Stalkers do support each other in their tight little ball. The Lings can't get a good surround, and they don't have any armor upgrades. They have one armor upgrade, but mostly that weapons upgrade. Getting more Banelings, but there are a lot of Stalkers here. Banelings are not very effective against Stalkers. However, if a good fungal growth goes off on the Stalkers, they will be softened up, and Banelings might be the final blow. So it is a good strategy, holding them in place as well, so they cannot run from the Banelings. And the Banelings are so fast with their movement upgrade on creep. So look at this, Lings coming in, good force fields. There will be a fungal growth, more than likely, although he doesn't have enough energy for fungal growth. And he won't for a while. He's at 60 energy, so 15 more energy. And wow, M. Stephano is losing his in-base hatch at the, it's not his natural, it's his third. There still is a big army here. I'd like to see M. Todd putting some cannons up here and getting ready to take his base. He needs to expand on this push. He's doing a lot of damage, but maybe he thinks he can win it here, and he very well might. His force fields are so key, so beautiful. They're so cost effective and well spread. Oh man, very good play by Mellenium Todd. The Zerg player is doing a great job of trying to hold this off, but the Protoss player, like, these fungals are beautiful, but he needs to save his fungals until he can do some real damage, because the fungal is hitting the Stalkers and wearing through their shields, but by the time he has enough energy for another fungal, their shields are back at full. So he needs to save up more than one before he engages. So the Protoss player wisely backing up. He's now made this game an even game for himself. Actually, I would say he's ahead, because he still has some minerals left in this base. He's taking his third now and is well secured. His third has tons of minerals, and here's the Zerg on a half mined out natural expansion. So and Mellenium Todd has the commanding army here. So really, the Zerg player took an amazing lead, but he didn't back off of that harass. He didn't do a mid-game tech switch. So he did a late-game tech switch, and here is a very nice unit combination for M. Stephano. And these Infestors here, combined with those Broodlords, this is going to make a potent army combination and be very cost-effective against the Protoss army. So really, the Protoss army needs Blink right now, or he needs some sort of air defense. He needs Phoenix or Void Rays, but Void Rays will be beaten up pretty heavily by the Infestors. And he's using the Broodlords beautifully, using these dead spaces so that if the Protoss gets Blink, he cannot blink under the Broodlords. And that's how you need to do it. You need to use these dead spaces in the map for your Broodlords. You can't fight in the open ground. There is nothing a Protoss can do against Broodlords if they do not have some kind of anti-air like Phoenix or Void Rays. And look at this. The Corruptors, or Infestors, fungal growthing the Stalkers in place, and he needs to back those Broodlords up. He's using the dead space properly, but he needs to back them up. There he goes. And the Protoss army is going to lose so many units trying to engage the Zerg army here. Now there's a huge Broodlord count. Going back to the production tab, we're seeing more Corruptors coming out, 4 Broodlords later. The Protoss players are warping in more Stalkers, and this is such a difficult army. He's getting too ballsy. Sorry. He needs to bide his time and use this dead space. Very good. He can harass a little bit, but he can't let the Protoss army get under these Broodlords. He's now going to be able to deny the gold expansion. The Zerg player needs to retake one of his expansions. He's doing a lot of damage here, but if the Protoss player can continue to macro, which he did just save this expansion, the Zerg player will not be able to keep pushing. Wow, this is a pretty epic game. I'm enjoying this a lot, and who knew? I did not think the Protoss player would be able to pull himself out of the situation the Zerg player put him in at the start, but he did a great job. This Nexus does go down to the Broodlords and the Broodlings, and now we're morphing even more Broodlords, 4 more. So the Protoss wisely getting 2 Stargates, probably going to be pumping in a lot of Phoenix, but he's only on 1 base at this point. He is sitting on a little bit of a bank, 1,000 minerals, 400 gas, so Void Rays, he's getting Void Rays rather than Phoenix, which is good. Phoenix would be a good choice too because he could lift up the Infestors so they cannot cast their spells. But and they are more mobile than the Void Rays, and you need mobility against Infestors. But Void Rays are good too because they do serve a further purpose. They're not as easily denied by Corruptors because you need to get Corruptors to get Broodlords, right? So there are bound to be Corruptors on the field for the Zerg player. So Phoenix might not be the best choice in that situation. So I would say, you know, through deductive reasoning, Void Rays are a good choice here. They're more multi-purpose in this situation. So he's chronoing out quite a few before he engages. He does not want to push until he has a good number. And that is good. Oh my goodness, these Banelings are going to come in here and get a lot of probe kills. That was very smart play by the Zerg. 1 Baneling got 4 or 5 probe kills there. And I really like that decision making from the Zerg player. Just do every little bit of damage you can. The tiny stuff does make a big difference, and that was so cost effective. That was like 250 minerals worth of workers for 1 Baneling. Now look at this regiment of Broodlords. Broodlord Infestor, this is his army. There's nothing else here other than Broodlords and Infestors, and he's building more Infestors. This combination is so incredibly potent. Fungal growth to lock his opponent's army in place, and Broodlords as the artillery. It's like freaking holding someone down and hitting them with a siege tank. It seems like, oh my god, what a good force. What a good, potent combination. And the Zerg player is now mined out. Where is his... He's getting some sort of income. He's got... he's long distance mining the gold. He needs to use this 300 minerals to take an expansion. I don't know why he wouldn't just take this base or the gold. The gold might be a little bit too ballsy to take. Void Rays getting a little ahead of themselves. If they get caught in the fungal, they will all die because he will be able to chain fungal them to death. They are armored. They do take bonus damage to that fungal growth. He needs to spread these out so that can't happen. Still long distance mining. I don't understand why he's not taking an expansion. I really don't. There's no reason for it. But he needs to save up. He needs to take that expansion. Because if he gets denied, hell, if the Protoss player comes up and kills all these drones, he can't save himself. It's frustrating to watch. So, the Protoss player is going to take this gold again, and I'd say that's a pretty good choice, as he is going to be mined out here shortly. There's an Infestor here, and it's going to come in here and fungal growth the worker line, and they're all so tightly packed because of these cannons. It's going to be so effective, and here goes a fungal growth. He's going to lock down so many. Look at the fungal growth. He's going to get, oh my goodness, so many probes went down to that fungal growth. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. That was a fantastic move by the Zerg player, being so annoying with his just like 1 unit at a time, and that is the way to play. If you're going to harass, that is the way to do it. So he's building up this wicked tech army here, and I think, what is he doing? Why are you building spore crawlers to defend a base with no minerals? I don't understand it. So he needs to think ahead. He's thinking short term. He thinks he can beat the Protoss with his army if he keeps denying, but the Protoss does get this base up, and he's going to be continuously producing Void Rays. But like I said, if these Void Rays get caught in a fungal growth, they can be chain fungal down, and it's not that difficult to do with all the energy that are on these Infestors, especially if the Broodlords are able to keep the ground army away. So this is anyone's game still, but the Zerg player is running out of options. As soon as this is mined out, even if he mines everything here, like, it's going to be mined out shortly. Even if he mines everything here, he won't have enough money to build an expansion anymore. He's already out of the choice. He's lost his decision to make an expansion. This is such a crazy standoff here. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. This is not what I expected when I started watching this game. What an impressive clan show match. Oh my goodness. So, lots of Void Rays here. This is something you see in a team game or a free-for-all game. This is hard to stop if you have cash. But the Protoss player has an income still. We are seeing Broodlords engage this expansion. Broodlords wisely sitting back here with the option to get on the high ground or get in the open space. Do these Stalkers have Blink yet? They don't have Blink, which surprises me so much. The Void Rays are going to come around here. He is keeping them spread out. Spore Crawler's in a good position to deal with the Void Rays. And this is such a touchy thing. He's got all these Queens for Transfuse, which is brilliant to me. And I think the Zerg army is going to be the more cost-effective army here. This is crazy. I don't know what to make of this situation. This is all going to come down to Micro here. Just a massive Micro. Look at all the Void Rays that got caught in that fungal. They're going to lose most of their shield. These ones are going to get chain fungal down. I'm almost sure of it. Void Ray is going to melt the Queens, but staying on top of his Transfuse, he keeps them alive for a very long time. The Protoss army is getting brave. It's pushing forward, but it's getting slaughtered by the combination of Fungal Growth and Broodlords. The ground army cannot get close, and the Void Rays are dying so quickly to Queens, to Corruptors, to Infestors with Fungal Growth, and the Protoss army does look like it's going to make this push work, but even if it doesn't, it still has its expansion, and it will be able to resupply this army, and he needs to back up. Look how much damage that last stand from the Zerg did to this Protoss ball. The Protoss will be able to back up to the safety of his expansions and his cannons, and he will be able to macro up some more units. He should have more coming soon. Coming up with all his static defense. This is a last-ditch effort from the Zerg player. He's going to harass and deny this expansion, and now the Zerg player is long-distance mining the base on the left. I can see it in the mini-map. I would show you, but I don't want to come away from this battle. So many Queens here, able to transfuse anything that gets low health. These Void Rays are also low health. They're going to go down to the Zerg army if he's not careful. So many Spore Crawlers that can shoot the Colossus and the Void Rays, and the Broodlords keep the ground units back. Zealots warping in, but they are not the right choice, and the Gold Expo goes down. This is insane! And the Protoss is mined out at this base. More Void Rays coming out, but if he can't kill the Queens, he can't kill the Broodlords either. And the Queens still have tons of energy. The only issue with what's happening here... Oh, look at this. The Void Rays are going to come over here and harass this long-distance mining. And the Zerg player is not going to be able to stop it. And now he's pulled his static defense back. These are free Broodlords if he can get some Void Rays in there to deal with those. And they're going to trade mining lines. This is... Oh my god. So the Queens are going to come in here, but there are 5 Queens to 4 Void Rays. And when it comes to Queens and Void Rays, it's a pretty even fight. However, these Void Rays are in low health, and the Queens do have an armor upgrade. So this is an interesting situation. These Broodlords are going to pull back to the Spore Crawlers. They're going to get transfused by the Queens. These Void Rays need to get out of there. So the Void Ray almost goes down to the Queens. The Queens are spread so thin. The Void Rays are two-pronging the Zerg. They are going to be able to get this hatchery. I don't know what the purpose of that is. They need to get out of there before the Queen snipes them. Observers spotting everything. Oh no, the Void Ray does go down. The 3 Void Rays come over here to deny long-distance mining from the Zerg over here. They're going to go the long way around and I think try to snipe some of the production here. But really, production is not the issue. He needs to kill this army. He will be able to get these Spore Crawlers while they're out of position. And he is going to. However, Spore Crawlers in the patch, they do burrow faster. He's going to get 1. Oh, Transfuse keeps them alive. How frustrating is that? The Void Rays do manage to get 1. The Spore Crawlers almost kill a Void Ray. What an epic game. And neither player has an income. The Protoss is long-distance mining whenever he can. He will be able... There he goes. He does have 250 minerals. He will be able to produce another Void Ray, and he does start production of 1 more. He's got so many Void Rays on the field, and this is going to be the end. If all these Void Rays go down for the Protoss player, he loses. If all these Queens go down for the Zerg player, he loses. So, oh my goodness, now that the Colossus are out, they will be able to focus down the Spores. Spores go down. The Queens do not have that much energy left. The Colossus goes down to Broodlords. Zealots trying to tank some of the Broodlords. The Colossus sits back to help those Zealots stay alive. Oh my god, this is so tense. And looks like one Queen's gonna go down. No Transfuse keeping it alive. Is he gonna lose all these Void Rays to a committed attack here? Void Rays focusing down the Queens, but the Queens will not go down. And he looks like he's gonna snipe another Broodlord. Another Void Ray goes down. And oh my gosh. And Todd, GG's out? Todd, the Protoss player, GG's out of this game. And the Zerg player takes the game with brilliant micro and an endgame transition that saved the day. He was in command in the beginning, looked like he was going to lose it in the mid game, and in the end game he came through. What a phenomenal game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Sen Carnum, and you're watching StarCraft Inc.